What's up, y'all? It's just Rhonda. Welcome to my channel. It's Thursday. No, it's not. It's hump day. It's hump day, y'all. Woo! The day's almost over. We made it over our hump. It's always good to make it over your hump. I didn't really have a whole lot to do today. I ran to the store right quick for a couple few things and brought my behind back in. It's just nice to be in sometimes. Sometimes I just be so comfortable in under my little roof, with my little peoples around me. And yeah, how was y'all's hump day? Tomorrow's Thursday. Thursday is like Tuesday, like on the other side. You know what I'm saying? It's like I'm not quite there to the end, but hunker down. It's Thursday. Hunker down, get the shit done that you need to get done. You know what I'm saying? So Friday you can like easy breezy and get the hell on up out of there. It's been a minute since I talked about Married to Medicine. I kind of like dumped them on the wayside. What's up, T? T been waiting on this conversation. This is the thing. Me and T like used to have our long phone conversations. I would be driving from work and she would be driving from work and we would be caught up in traffic discussing our shows. But now we do it over here, like so we can talk to y'all as well. Football tonight, T. Did you have football? You know, that young man over there is a busy character. So anyway, we over here to catch up. It's just to catch up on Married to Medicine. Like I said, I kind of left them on the wayside, and because it was a lot going on. I've been in Detroit since October, child. I'm about to grab my faux fur and get the hell up out of there because, whew, it's it was fun. It was real fun, and some cute little things coming up out of Detroit. The people are talking, the interviews are happening, and I might just have something in my pocket. So, I'll let y'all know about that later. Anyway, let's catch up of Married to Medicine, the things that have been going on over there. And the reason why I kind of backed off is because honestly, I'm sick and tired of listening to Simone argue with Heavenly and Quad. So I'm like, if that's all y'all are gonna do, then I'll check in and peep in and that kind of thing. But we back on. I'll be back on Tuesday at 7 o'clock at my regular time to review Married to Medicine. Potomac will be back. The Super Bowl had everything on pause for Sunday, and I was grateful for the break. But you know, uh, what is it? Potomac's reunion is gonna be Sunday, so we'll get into that on Monday. Tuesday, Married to Medicine, and Wednesday, we'll see what I have in store for y'all. It might be something kind of cute. Anyway, what was going on over here? We're gonna start here. Did I not get it? Here I go, taking up all the time to get ready just to not have all the graphics that here we go. Easy fix. Boom. There they are. Quad and King. Unfortunately, the party's over. The King and the Queen Quad are no longer a pair. So for me, throughout this whole season, King has been acting like he's irritated and tired of Quad. And so, how do we know that they broke up? Because somebody was in the comments somewhere saying, how lucky this lady was to have this man because he's so fine. Y'all are weird. Anyway, she's so lucky. And I'm like, well, what is making her lucky? You know what I'm saying? Is it just because you think he's attractive? Because from what I've been seeing this whole season, he's been very annoyed and bothered. Like everything she does gets on his nerves. And oh my God, he's got to be dragged over here with Quad. That's how he was acting. And I feel like Quad is a hell of a lot of energy, child. And I feel like you got to have patience. Like in real life, I'm not sure. Even though I feel like sometimes women act different, you know what I'm saying, in relationships with the right person. So if he was over there, busting it down 15 times a week, because that's what they said, then I guess there was nothing left for her to do but, cook and clean and show y'all, how she got that ring. Oh, you know what happened? She didn't get a ring. She didn't get a ring and she didn't get a baby. And that's the good news. I feel like the last thing that she needed with this man was a child. Like they were over here not even sure. Well, I don't think, yeah, they couldn't even figure out what the living arrangements were going to be. And I feel like when she brought him in here, her king, King has been demoted to a Kirk. I don't think we're referring to him as king no more. So Kirk, and she should have said that in the first place. She should have came over here and just said, this is my, man Kirk, and we gonna see what's up. It's only been a year. She kept it from y'all for a year, but a year still ain't, really a long time. And now you've got him over here at your job. Um, you said he was acting like that because they were already broke up. Yeah, that's what it was giving. So since it's a reality show, wouldn't it make more sense to like just run it that way? And I said that maybe she was in it for his genetics. I don't know. Like she was married to Dr. Greg in the past, and I don't know who told her to go over there and lay down with that man, but that was her choice, and she did that. And then she came over here and threw her king in his face. And maybe King should have just been, they were talking about, IVF. I think that's a big deal. I think that's a big deal. And both people definitely have to be on board. And seemingly he was on board, but only to, get this, smash Quad and possibly, impregnate her with a boy child. Because I feel like when you do IVF, you can decide, if that's what you want to do. Hey, Miss Sparkle01. I don't think I've seen you over here, but welcome to the chat. That wasn't a relationship. That was a situationship. King is still with his baby mama. I can suspect that King is for the streets. You know what I'm saying? Relationships with baby mamas, they don't go away. And I think even in that year, that's not enough. He's got a daughter. I wish she would have just came over here and tried to let us build whatever it is we was going to build. And King could have been like brought to different events and things, but not like sit on the couch and do, confessionals. That's a lot. But hey, here we are now. This IVF journey was a bust. It's all this pressure to say Quad is older and, she can't, produce a child. And that's more than likely true. You know what I mean? Just based on her age. But let's not forget, maybe his little swimmers ain't really swimming. And maybe if two people are not supposed to be together, they ain't figured out, what house they're going to live in and where the baby mama stands, then maybe they shouldn't be over there having babies. So, people like women that wait this long to start having kids, they have a home together. The baby mama child, you giving me information I didn't even have. His mother of his child and him have a home together, which is maybe why we don't ever see Quad at his house. We only ever see him in her kitchen, prancing around her pool, her granada, with her friends. Because I did hear that he was out in the streets with Mendices, and nothing good can come from that. Anytime your man is around Mendices or Kirk or Scrappy, or if that's his friend group, child, it's not a good look. And so, yeah, I did hear about that. But, in real life, because, it's hard to tell what these people's real life is or their, TV life is. When we as women decide to wait so long, to start, start the process of motherhood. You got all the way over here to 40, whatever, almost 50. When you're 46, 47, child, you knocking down 50's door. And then you decide to wait this long to be a mother, a baby mama at that. You could have just been a baby mama a long time ago. So, and I don't know what King is bringing to the table. According to Miss Sparkle01, he just might be bringing the mother of his child over there, that the house they live in together. We don't know. King is for the streets. Anyway, I hate to say I'm glad that didn't happen. Quasto, Sweet Tea storyline. I am crying right now. I am absolutely we went from What was Sweet Tea's issue? She had endometriosis. Yeah. That she, never knew about allegedly, but that's a whole different season, girl. Um, yeah, so that's not gonna be a thing. And so I think Quad, where are your puppies? Do your thing and be a great auntie. Kids are lovely, but it's kind of a dirty trick. They come here as babies and then after that really don't know what you're gonna get. What else been going on over here? We could take Quad and her king off the list. We now know that the man has a whole baby mamas who he lives with. And yeah, I bet you Sweet Tea and Dr. Greg are over there like, ha ha ha. They celebrating, the fact that this is not gonna happen here. And yeah, so and it probably shouldn't. What else? Let's talk about this lady because it really ain't much to talk about because she's over here on bullshit. Dismiss Dr. Heavenly. So Dr. Heavenly came over here as a part-timer and she's a politician. So I think at this time she was running for state representative. That didn't happen. And so now she's over here running for Congress. She ain't in my district for Congress or anything else. So I will let you Atlanta people decide, what that is. I feel like Dr. Heavenly is very smart. And she's very messy. So it is what it is, child. We don't know, what she's qualified for. I did see, and I'm gonna say, if you haven't seen it, she did an interview with Claudia and Erica. And I can't remember the name of their podcast, but y'all know what it is, Claudia and Erica. I always say I'm going to put it in the description box. I have to do better about that. But she's over there doing an interview with Claudia and Erica, and she's like has a whole lot like her platform is about medical insurance, I think, and nothing to do with this police brutality story that she's over here selling us with her son. So first of all, and they do this a lot over here. Anytime, they want to side skirt their own bullshit, they start talking about the black men in this country, the black men, and yeah. But this is what happened up here. Dr. Heavenly Kime's son ordered into court monitored program following a 2023 arrest for attempting to run over a police officer. Now, come on. This is not the same thing as your good son coming out here driving around in his luxury car because his parents are wealthy, getting pulled over and harassed and things by someone just simply for being black in a luxury car. I don't know what this boy was driving, but I know he tried to run over a police officer with it. So for her to come over on this show and try to act like that's the basis of her campaign is her playing in our face. Sherelle's Roll reported that her son had been dealing with substance abuse, and that's why he was never on the show. And when you look at, that's what Sherelle said, child. So it makes sense though. And I said that not that he had issues with substance abuse, but I said that he's that kid that be out in these streets. And she got those two kids at home that want to go to school and become professional people and whatever. We don't know what her daughter is doing over there shopping on her daddy's credit card. That's the one that needs to go on the next generation to see how her and Riley do in the city together. Riley needs another black child. Where's Cynthia's daughter? I got off subject a little bit, but I'll say that just because I think that's what Michael wants to do. And no, because Michael got a steak ass attitude. So we don't want him over there. Yeah, I think he's that kid that's always been a problem because if he wasn't, Dr. Heavenly liked to brag so much. And this one is the one called Dr. What's his name? His Damon Jr. He has the same name as her husband. So yeah, that's why we call her husband Daddy, girl. Dr. Damon Daddy. So she had a little campaign, rally, I guess you would call it, down to a parking lot. And it's whatever. I don't know why she had to be there, but it's whatever. Her and Quad over here, running campaigns and things. And the ladies were there. We know Toya does not give two shits about Heavenly and whatever it is Heavenly got going on. So, she was her regular angsty Toya self, disagreeable over here doing the most. But Brandy, New Girls, Brandy was there to support. Everybody was there to support, except for Simone, who was caught in traffic. But, I don't think that was an accident. I think Simone just didn't want to support because Heavenly and Simone don't like each other. And so that's always been the case. If I was Simone, I wouldn't fool with Heavenly either. And I was Heavenly, I probably wouldn't fool with Simone. So why they, worshiping at the altar of Jackie, trying to force each other to be friends. They're not. So Heavenly is having her campaign rally, and Brandy is unsure whether she wants to support Heavenly or not. Like, she's here. I just want to see. I see a bunch of foolery over here, which I can imagine, her hollering across the thing and Heavenly doing what Heavenly does. And Quad is her campaign manager, which is, I don't know. I don't know if I would want Quad to be my campaign manager. But I would want her to be my event planner. Yeah, I feel like she could throw a hell of an event. You know what I'm saying? And make it very nice. But as a campaign manager, I feel like if I'm already not somebody who knows really much about politics, this is a passion thing for me, then I probably would want someone who knows how to navigate, through that type of situation. So, but we doing what we're doing over here. And yeah, Brandy is like, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to, support her like that. Let me see. And so then Mimi comes in and she's basically telling her, like, you want to be careful, like who you align yourself with. And Brandy's like, what are you talking about? Toya. You need to be careful, like aligning yourself with Toya. And I feel Dr. Mimi, on one hand, Toya is a hot ass mess. However, Brandy is a grown woman and doesn't need you to help her navigate through friendships. And this is a TV show. So Brandy, come over here. So far, I like Brandy. You know what I'm saying? Because she's doing a good job of speaking up for herself. Mimi, on the other hand, I like Mimi in terms of, the stuff that she's sharing with her real life and what that's like. I'm not even mad that Mimi don't like Toya, because Toya is, I don't really think anybody does. She's just like anybody else. I'm not even mad at her calling out Toya on her bullshit. But you don't need to tell Brandy, how to navigate. Like I said, Brandy's a grown-ass woman. Now, let me see what you said. Brandy was wrong for sitting back with Toya talking shit, though, in front of Heavenly and being messy. Well, you mean at the event? Yes, that part was messy. And it was also, well, I was going to say, like, Mimi, I get why she doesn't like Toya, but you then can't be championing Dr. Heavenly, because they're like the same, they're the same. Toya and Heavenly, they come out of mouth crazy. That's why they always interact with each other the way they do. Brandy, yeah, you was over there, doing the most, and I guess that's what Mimi meant, like, be careful who you align yourself with. But Mimi, you're gonna have to talk to people like they grown. You can't come at people like, they're one of your patients, you're gonna therapy them through, the day. So that's what happened over there. What else? This family reunion. Dr. Heavenly has a brother. I don't care. She don't even know if that's her real brother. It probably is. I feel like people be knowing, you know what I'm saying? People will always know, like, who's the side baby and side baby mama and all that stuff. That's not necessarily like information that's not the norm. I won't say the norm, but people be knowing. You know what I'm saying? So it might be her brother. It might not be her brother. I don't know. It doesn't matter. She's over here bringing family members and things to try to make up stuff to keep us from talking about that son. And now the Sherelle's world's over here putting out other information. That means that people are going to keep looking. And honestly, I would hope that you're on some type of substance if you're trying to run over a police officer, because if that's how your mind works just sober, that's even more scary. Toya's out of pocket because Toya's always out of pocket. Toya went over to, what's this girl, Angel, at the family reunion. I'm squishing all this stuff in here. There's just certain little things that happen. So Heavenly has a family reunion down to the rec center. So that's what we're going to do at every Housewives event. We're going to hold rec center events with the children. Contessa wasn't there, and the folks brought all their kids and things down to the rec center. So Toya comes over to Angel, and Angel brought some guy. I don't know who this guy is. He claims that they have been dating for 10 years. Angel, I don't know. Is this just somebody that you bring to events when you don't have nobody else to bring? You know what I mean? It was just very weird. I don't know. She brought this guy over here for whatever reason, and Toya gets all in her feelings because at some point, Angel and Toya had a conversation. What's up, Sid? Angel and Toya had a conversation, and she was supposed to introduce her. Toya was supposed to introduce Angel to one of Eugene's friends or something. I don't know. It's just something that they talked about, but it has not ever actually happened. Sid said, like, subscribe, and share. And I would appreciate if you do that. Tell your friend to tell a friend, and we could come over here and talk about these people, child. Forget about what's going on in the real world. Yeah, at some point, there was a conversation like, Dr. Eugene is a good guy. Does he have any good friends? And Toya's like, yeah, he does. I would never want Toya to hook me up. She would be all so much in your business because she feels like that this is her family. Whew, no, it's a good thing she found out early on that Toya, you don't want her in your business like that. Anyway, she came over there getting all in her feelings. She told the man that Angel asked her to hook him up. Child, it don't matter. He's been around for 10 years. He's not going anywhere. But then she asked, how is Angel in bed? And I'm like, what the heck kind of question is that? Who does that? What was that about? The frick is going on, like, situation here? Sorry, y'all, but Google is in my business, and I don't know how to make it leave. Let me see. Whew, that was scary. Anyway, what was I saying? Angel. Is it just me or is Angel kind of dingy? People can be very, book smart, but she seems a little bit of a dingbat to me. I'm not sure, what's going on with Angel for real. So, she learns very quickly that, you can't trust Toya so much. These three are the new girls. Mimi, of course, was here last season. And then Brandy and Angel, I guess they're friends of. I don't know that they're official. But they had a scene together. And they got along so well. Toya was out of pocket for that. I would have cussed her ass out too. And, they did have a conversation over at Angel's event, but I would have had her in the moment. Toya knows who to do that shit to. And then, wants to try to justify it, which, we have a lot to discuss when it comes to Toya and Simone. So, yeah, these three had to get together, and it was so nice. And I talked about how cool it was to have and see some different energy, you know what I'm saying, on the show. So now Mimi is beefing with Brandy, and Angel is beefing with Brandy. How did that happen? It was a beef when they left off because Mimi wants her to choose sides. She really doesn't like Toya, and she's like recruiting people to not like Toya. I don't know that Brandy even likes Toya that much, but just I mean, to be in a place where you're like, I'm not about to let this grown woman tell me like who to like. And like I said, if you don't like Toya, then you should feel the same way about Heavenly. So I'm questioning, like, Dr. Mimi, why aren't you seeing the same things in Heavenly that you're seeing in Toya? Because you've seen her be messy and called it out, but not to her face. When she calls out Dr. Heavenly, she's in her confessional or, somewhere not in her face. So, Mimi, maybe you should consider the people that you're aligning yourself with. I think it's important not really to align yourself with anybody. You know what I'm saying? And just like who you like. And when people do shit wrong, just call that shit out. If they can't get past it, then you know what I'm saying? When I say call it out, I don't mean like at the dinner table, like they tend to do things, but be honest, answer honestly, be for real, and you could navigate much easier. I feel like much better, much longer than coming in and choosing a side. Let decide that shit like after you feel out who it is you like. Angel is just so dingy. Angel has this event because she's launching her line of scrubs, which are very cute. And when you go over to the website, I could see like being in the medical field and how looking, having functional scrubs that fit well, because usually those kinds of things are not flattering at all. You know what I'm saying? Especially for curvier women, because they're very stiff. And so, they just don't cut them for being flattering or functioning. It's just a very stiff fabric, and nursing, that it's a lot of bending and all kinds of stuff. You need comfortable clothes. So I did look at her scrubs, and they are really dope. And if I was in the field, I would definitely, they're like $89, $100. They're not even that, out of pocket, in terms of pricing. So I hope, she's definitely a good spokesperson for her brand. So she dingy, but I hope she, keeps that as part of that. I would be in scrubs every time they seen my ass until we went to, an event or something. But yeah, I don't know. I don't like that there's a rift here between the new girls. So how are they going to align? And not for nothing, Brandy, don't align yourself with Toya. Just be your own self, because Toya is not the ticket. She is nothing but a hot ass mess. And you will soon find that out, because everything she's doing to these people, eventually she will do it to you. She already did. She already like called you out at some event. Where was that at? Oh, at Toya's house when she was cussing everybody out. Let's get into her real quick, because it ain't really a whole lot to say about Contessa. Contessa shows up to places poorly dressed. This is my problem with Contessa. Why does she keep wearing these things? I hate to like just be over here with this, but we all see it. We all see that Contessa puts a keyhole on every one of the dresses that she puts on, and it's bad. And if you're going to do that, Contessa, please get a re-up. We already went through your breast augmentation story. So just go fix it, because it's really bad. And if you don't fix it, then stop wearing a keyhole. I don't feel like most people can. I feel like women with real breasts have a hard time with a keyhole, and that one is very big. I'm just saying. Most women with real breasts got to have some type of support. Those keyhole dresses are meant for the itty bitty titty committee. Otherwise, do something else, girl. It's a distraction. Contessa was in charge of the cast trip. She did a good job. Thank goodness. Even Dr. Jackie said, "Oh, this is nice. I wonder who helped her with this." Somebody did. She probably hired somebody to manage it, because we don't know. They said her party was off the chain, though. Now, from what we were seeing, it didn't seem like it, but other people said that her party was really good, and she has somebody come sing. She keeps saying it. I don't remember who it was that came to her party to sing, but I would imagine that was a good part of her budget, having this R&B group or whoever she had come over there and sing. sing, perform, whatever. Um, yeah. Contessa is such a hater. And she hates on everybody's events and things. So she hated on Angel's event because she could I can't figure out what the space theme is for. And you know, I got it. I felt like it was a little dark. I wish she had I wish she had a little more lighting. You know what I'm saying? So this was her vision. She didn't have a whole. I mean, she did have some people with the scrubs on. Quad had the scrubs on, I guess, to represent for her friend. I don't know why. Any other reason? Because Quad doesn't. She doesn't need the scrubs necessarily. But like I said, it was a good representation of her brand. But over at her party, here's these people are in a big fight. And they're in a big fight because Simone looks up people's information. Couple few episodes back, the conversation came up about Simone looking up people's, personal stuff, even though it's public information, but it's just a little weird. And she justifies it. They said she looked up Contessa's building and she was telling people that Contessa doesn't even own that building. Come to find out, she had the wrong address. Then she made the comment at some point, if she had the VIN number, she would be looking up Quad's, car. Is Quad going to be still driving that car now that they're not together? I wonder what Quad is driving. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like, she's had it for a couple of years. Get something else. I don't see her driving around in no buggy. And if I was going to be driving around in a Bentley or a Rolls Royce or whatever it was that she was driving, I'd rather it be from my man's car dealership than, coming out of my pockets. And so that happened at Angel's event. Her and Simone get in a screaming match. I tell you what, they give Simone a lot of grace with all that screaming. Because if it were me, I would not have it. Simone would not be able to be screaming in my face like that all the time. So Simone and Quad get into a screaming match because Quad brings up, why were you looking at my VIN number? And apparently Dr. Simone has said this a long time ago. And Heavenly is just now, spilling it. I don't know if Heavenly just didn't think about it, you know what I'm saying? Because Simone was talking shit, or if she strategically held on to that one. Because I would tell my people, if I'm somewhere and somebody says, yeah, I was looking up so-and-so's VIN number, and if it's my girl, yeah, she would have been on that already. So who knows? They might have planned to bring it up, on the show just to start something. Because, like I said, if it was my homegirl and some other person was saying that they were looking up VIN numbers and shit, I would be like, what she said about you, Not to be messy, but loyalty is loyalty. Contessa? Yeah. Contessa what? About her building? Give me more. I need more information. Um anyway, like I said, they give Simone too much grace. All of that hollering and screaming, and then Quad just as much. They was hollering and screaming to the point that, you would have thought they was gonna go to blows. Contessa was talking shit too. They all were. But I mean, was it talking shit or just saying how? Because if I'm Contessa and I'm like, yeah, she looked up my building, I feel like it was just one of those conversations that they're like, Simone be looking up people's shit and it's weird. And it is weird. Simone, why do you do that? I have never thought about, like, I look up houses and things like that go when I see the sale sign on it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, how much, what's going on, what does it look like inside? And then I might look up another address just to see square footage and that kind of thing and compare pricing. But I'm not looking up information like to see, like, well, she says she owned the building. So to me, that's Simone's instinct, is like, how do they have that kind of money to do that? You know what I'm saying? She counting pockets for what? How does Quad have a Rolls Royce? Well, I think we figured it out. It was, the writing was on the wall. That he has a luxury car service. It really wasn't that big of a, mystery. I don't feel like. I ain't never thought about getting nobody's VIN number. Have you ever gotten anybody's car and like, Let me get that VIN number so I can see what you're really doing over here. They're purchasing or they're leasing. It's not that complicated. Or they're, borrowing, and listen, it's a lot of people driving around Atlanta with Rolls Royces and Bentleys and things that, are not professional athletes or what have you. And I don't even necessarily think that's a flex, but, do you? Um, Now, Heavenly and Simone then got into it. And I don't know why Simone was so mad at Heavenly, because I don't think it was that big of a deal. Are you mad at Heavenly because you and Quad got into it? It just didn't make sense. Like, you already was pissed at Heavenly. Why would you tell Heavenly anything? You know what I'm saying? And again, like, why are you saying shit about my friend in front of me when you know I'm going to tell her? So, yeah, I didn't understand why Simone was so upset. So, they're hollering and screaming at each other, and then immediately they want contestant wants them to take a picture together. And I'm gonna say this: when Heavenly first got there, Toya, Simone, all of them were coming at her. You need to learn how to get used to this, because this is what's going to be like when you're a politician. And so she was like, I'm about to be out. I didn't come over here for this. I came over here for the fashion show. Shouldn't have to get used to, bullshit. You know what I'm saying? When you people that are supposed to be my friend group. So she was going to leave, but no, you need to stay here. So she stayed. And yeah, chaos ensued. They was hollering and screaming and foaming at the mouth. And then Angel was like, this is my event and you shouldn't do this. And, like I said, with Simone, it's hard to tell. But we've seen her screaming year after year after year after. Even Andy be like, God dang, don't sit me by Simone. So she gonna holler and scream. You can engage with her or not engage with her, but you know what that's gonna look like. So contestant wants them to take a picture together, and Simone snatched her arm from Heavenly, or snatched Heavenly's arm off her shoulder. Was she being dramatic? I mean, I guess I wouldn't want to like have you have your arm around me after we've just been screaming at each other. Simone started talking about Toya wrote notes. Toya had notes. I mean, I don't remember that part, but I can absolutely see her, having notes on all the things that she does. Toya and Heavenly definitely don't like each other. I don't think anybody likes Toya though, for real. And not even Brandy. What's interesting, when you go to their pages, Brandy is definitely new to this, but it's giving very authentic. When you go to their pages, there's glamour shots to choose from, videos of them. Even I tell you, that Dr. Jackie is quite the glamour puss. But it was very hard to find a picture of Brandy like dressed up. Like, it was so hard. There were so many options for the other ladies, and just Brandy she don't go nowhere, but she got all them kids. That's why she was so dang grateful at her birthday, because good Lord, just all them babies at the same time. Anyway, they went straight from this event where they're hollering and screaming at each other. Now, from my perspective, I think Heavenly and Simone are both doing the most. Simone, yeah, she aggressively pushed her arm off, but man, get your hands off of me. We was just screaming at each other, right? So, and then Heavenly takes it, to where Heavenly always takes it. And then she starts screaming, just because you're having problems in your marriage and you're unhappy over there, don't take it out on me. That's why you can't tell Heavenly nothing. And she's definitely not telling y'all anything. So, yeah, she wouldn't have no ammunition to me. We've seen her more than one occasion. Simone has gone to Heavenly and told her things. I feel like that she wanted to be repeated. She does things to get under Quad's skin. Simone does, because Quad gave her ass to kiss. So we'll never stop hearing the end of that. And that's the only explanation. But when you go back, Simone has been doing this from the very beginning. She's always been trying to tell Quad how to live, what to do. You know what I'm saying? And so that's always been an issue, I think, from day one. They're always going to see Quad as, Miss Quad, Miss Quad. Now she over here doing the damn thing. So, I don't know. Simone's a little weird. And yeah, so Heavenly went back and decided she was going to tell everyone that Simone was aggressive. And she was fearful over there of Simone because she was snatching her arm and saying, "Get your fucking hands off of me." And, we know none of that happened. Both of them really just need to just be distant from each other, but then we wouldn't have a show. So, but I wish y'all find something else. I've heard people say, they've enjoyed the season. I think there's some parts of it I have enjoyed. And then this whole argument, though, between these people is working my damn nerve. So, once again, you got Simone and Heavenly and Dr. Jackie. And Dr. Jackie is in the middle, of this feud that's constantly happening. They always get down to calling each other hoes. And Simone came on this season talking about who was going to be able to come to her table or play at her playground or whatever it is that she thinks she's leading the pack of. Simone is all up in arms that Jackie is not taking her side. And Jackie is saying, I don't want to be in the middle of these two because every time I do it, they get back friends. Jackie is very poised and she talks very softly in that, very authoritarian, voice that she uses. And it's very awkward to me, or, it's weird how Heavenly gets all worked up. And then Dr. Jackie's like, Heavenly, you are my sister and you can pull yourself together and go apologize. And I'm like, what the hell is happening with this intervention? What is she crying about? Dr. Jackie has been given this fake ass, down at the bottom of my heart speech every season. Heavenly didn't want to go on the trip. And she said that to the producers to get out of it. Well, she came, but why doesn't she want to go? Like, because at the end of the day, you can keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? I would have kept my mouth shut. I would have told Simone right there, I'm going to tell my friend what you said. So just for future references, don't say shit about my friend in front of me because I'm probably going to tell her. That's how I would have handled it. But no, she saved it. She sat on it for a year. Now these two are screaming at each other again. If Heavenly didn't want to go on the trip, then, she's a friend of. Does she have to? She doesn't have to. She's not a full-time castmate. I don't think she's looking for the money. So what does she want? I think if she doesn't participate, then she's not going to be a full-time castmate next time. And what if she gets that job? If she gets that job, she's going to have to quit anyway. So then who is Simone going to yell at? I got a couple guesses. At the end of the day, these two don't like each other. At some point, they unfollowed each other, which be killing me. There was no show without Heavenly. Toya can't carry it. And she thinks she can, but she cannot. Toya is, I feel like Angel is slow and Toya is too. We go get into Toya. But so Dr. Jackie, and what happened? She went on Watch What Happens Live. And Andy asked her questions about these two, being feuding. And Jackie did not take a side. And I think, I don't blame Jackie. Sorry about it. I don't know what's, he wants to be on live. What can I say? Jackie went on Watch What Happens Live, and she didn't take a side. She stayed kind of neutral. She did not say anything bad, but Simone was all, in her feelings and unfollowed Jackie on Instagram. And I'm like, your 60-year-old ass running to Instagram to unfollow somebody for what? She didn't say anything bad. And as much as, Dr. Jackie get on my nerves, y'all are grown. Um, both of them are full of shit. So, I don't blame Jackie. Like, I'm taking sides of what? Um, and they unfollowed each other, but they shot the reunion, I guess, the other day, and it looks like the Married to Medicine reunion that finished yesterday may have seen Dr. Simone and Dr. Jackie's friendship re re what? Anyway, they back to following each other again. Oh my word. What else has been going on over here? I feel like it's been the same thing every week. These three are fighting, and it's, if Dr. Heavenly didn't go on the trip, it would have been boring. What were they doing that first couple days? That first day that they got there, they went to ride on the dolphins, and they split up with one another. I feel like I'm glad she waited that day, though. You know what I'm saying? Just us to give us a chance to get over there to the vacation and woosah. Because if Heavenly would have came the first day, then the shit would have started at the airport, and everybody just kind of wanted to relax. I did not know that Contessa was a pilot. Contessa has a lot of things under her belt. When they talk about Black excellence, if Contessa were just showcasing like her smarts, her skills, and not how she dresses, she don't have no fashion skills. She should just get over there to Angel's website, get some of them scrubs. But she has a lot of skills, like a pilot. If we picking teams, I want Contessa on my team, but we gonna have to put a muzzle on her because her mouth would drive me crazy. And she's a little, she has been very calm during this vacation. I was worried when they played that game, if they were gonna start all over again. That's by then Heavenly had got there. What else? Anything else that's been going on? Oh, they get to the house, the newbie share a room. I'm not mad at that. You know what I'm saying? It's whatever. I'm tired of them with this whole room shit. I was surprised though the interaction between Brandy and Angel. Simone didn't want to deal with Heavenly, but then was upset when she came in and didn't speak. I thought the same thing. Like, do you want her or there or not? And y'all are beefing. So just like how you didn't want her arm on your shoulder, she don't feel like speaking to you when she walked in. She feels nervous because you're aggressive. Oh boy. See how wealthy people be throwing tantrums? All Karens ain't white. Because that's some nonsense that Dr. Heavenly is, And then Dr. Simone talking about Heavenly is going to ruin her reputation. Child, I wouldn't worry about that. I feel like your reputation is solid, and we've been watching you act a fool for some years now. So that whatever Heavenly said, it was a non-thing. We look at it Heavenly, not you, because we're like, Heavenly, stop. You're not afraid of Simone. What you call it said it. I think it was Dr. Mimi. Heavenly wasn't scared of Simone. She was scared of what she might do to Simone. Because in her real life, I feel like it's not a happy home over there. She's saying stuff like, I don't even know where my boy is. So those are things like she said, like T said, Sherelle said, those are things that kind of go along with people dealing with substances. And, have you talked to your dad, the brother? Like he probably check in every now and then, but he ain't gonna check in with Heavenly. And the last thing she needs, you know what I'm saying? Because if he does anything, they're definitely gonna be like, headline news. They got the headlines for something that happened 2 years ago. So they get to this room and the new girls. First thing the Angel says to Brandy is like, what are you on? Like, what is your energy gonna be like? I don't know what Angel is on, but I feel like that would have irritated me. So I wasn't mad at Brandy's response necessarily because I'm like, what do you mean? What am I on? Can I put my shit down? Like, we've just got off an airplane. You know what I'm saying? Can I just put my stuff down and relax? How about Simone trying to fight quiet, messing up her reputation? That wouldn't, I mean, that could possibly, and even then, like the way it's not been the first time. It's not been the first time. We have seen her over in that last season at the what you call it, at the reunion. There was all kind of MFers at each other and was child. I'm like, if these two gonna be fighting, and then turn around and they're perfectly fine, which I think is weird because I'm like, okay, so now y'all are good. I'm confused. Anyway, child. Why are they all flirting with each other? That was weird too. Like the way they were flirting, I was like, are y'all well, it was Quad and Toya, and let me turn around. Let me see. Oh, goodness, Toya, get some from somewhere for goodness sake. Here we go again with this girl, Angel. Have you ever, I didn't even know, what was she spraying down her throat? She numbed her throat to pleasure a man. That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. Angel, girl, she's a nurse, isn't she? Anyway, do with that what you will. Simone is talking about how her and Cecil went to Greece. We went to Greece and everything. Like, I can't stand Cecil. I don't want to be nowhere around him, but we went to Greece. And then, the sex is good. I gave him head. Everything was great. And I was like, Cecil's a brave man. I don't know if I had a penis, I would want Simone's teeth anywhere near it. But over in Greece, the shit went down. And that was nasty. If we don't, girl, don't nobody want to hear that. Whew. Is that what's really going on over there? Because it don't seem like y'all even like each other. Simone has gone on multiple places saying how she doesn't like Cecil. She's ready for him to get the hell on. And then they want to be over here with us. Cecil is telling his kids that they're the reason why Simone and him don't that they fight. And I was like, that's bull. So Miss Thing went over here to Carlos King. When I say Miss Thing, I mean Quad. So she really, her and Mimi really don't get each other. And, Mimi, I don't think Toya was talking as if she had, a way to get rid of Mimi. And I was like, girl, that's not up to you. So I got this clip over here of her and what's his name? Carlos discussing Mimi.
A new cast member. Mm-hmm. And she's very opinionated. I think she's wonderful for the show.
You do.
I love Dr. Mimi.
You mean Brandy? Are you talking about Brandy or Mimi? I'm sorry. Did you mean Brandy?
Toya Bush.
Did you mean Brandy?
Toya Bush hair.
I know you meant Brandy. Stop playing.
Toya Bush hair.
You don't mean Brandy?
I love Brandy too.
Okay, that's the realest one now, right? Okay, she's giving you herself. She's a breath of fresh air. Praise God for Brandy.
I love Brandy.
Thank you.
I've been very vocal about.
Okay, well, let's talk about Brandy. What you want to talk about? I'm just saying. I'm sorry. I'm not taking over. I'm sorry. It's your platform.
As you do. It's okay.
I'm sorry.
But I love you. You're my Detroit sister.
All right.
We grew up together. Now look. I'm gonna get to Brandy in a second.
Okay.
You are
balance it out.
Hilarious.
I'm just saying.
But I would like to start with Dr. Mimi. I think she's great for the show. Her husband is. I can say this. You can't. Dr. Mimi is a new cast member. Mm-hmm. You can say this. You can't. Not that you would, but
attractive. You think he's attractive?
Oh yes.
Really?
I think Steve.
That's what the boys say.
Oh.
What? What? What are you saying?
I think Steve is gorgeous. I think he's stunning.
Yes.
No disrespect, Dr. Mimi, but Steve is extremely attractive.
And so is Eugene.
But you already know.
You better give my man his props. He is extremely attractive.
Before he gets here, honey, I'm going to stick on Steve, honey.
Okay. How long?
Not long.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Sorry, Mimi. Anywho, back to Mimi. I think Mimi's great for the show. Do you think Mimi is following behind Heavenly for protection?
Absolutely. I definitely think she's following behind Heavenly for protection. And really and truly, I would have to differ with you. I think Steve is great for the show. I do. I think Mimi, on the other hand, needs some work, but I think Steve is great.
What work does she need?
Just,
you can say this, you can't. Not that you would, but...
Just, you got to learn to stand on your own 2 feet. You got to stop. No, she does not. Okay. She likes to use special trigger words that she learned being a psychiatrist. Chaos. She's in chaos. Am I safe with her? Heavenly didn't get that. She's unhinged. That was Mimi. Stop playing. When have we heard Heavenly say anything like that besides your mama? The people. Honey.
Like I see I'm obsessed with Married to Medicine. If you don't watch this show, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. This is the best show.
Because we want the truth. Everybody wants the truth. Like, let's start with the...
But you don't think Dr. Mimi is being truthful, child?
I think that she made... I can get under the people's skin, okay? I didn't know I was made for TV, but I guess I am.
You are the TV.
So it is what it is. Yeah. Just, you got to learn to stand on your own 2 feet. So it is what it is, okay?
You're Samsung.
Can I be Sony?
Okay.
Okay. I'm Sony.
Okay.
But I get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand. So it is what it is. Okay.
You're
so
Samsung.
I get it. Can I be Sony?
Okay.
Okay. I'm Sony.
Okay.
So, first of all, unhinged. It's not that big of a word, unhinged, just for Heavenly to come up with. She's a smart woman. I like Brandy, but she had the weakest story of the 3 new people. Weaker than Angel? Because Angel didn't have no story, really. First of all, Angel and Brandy are just friends of. I don't even think they're actually are they for real part of the cast? Mimi, this is her 2nd season. And so Mimi calls Toya on her shit, which she clearly doesn't like. Let me talk about this outfit. Mimi is in her 70s outfit from Toya's party. From Contessa's party. Toya be thinking she 8. And the boots I like her boots. The outfit, it feels like it's wearing her. I don't know that I would have wore that whole thing together. I might have bought one piece and, her hair is gorgeous. I don't know where she got her bundles from, but they're good. She's a hit or miss though. She don't be eating like she thinks she be eating. I like Dr. Mimi. I like that Dr. Mimi calls Toya on her shit. I don't have a problem with that. Her thinking that Dr. Heavenly couldn't come up with the word unhinged all by herself is hilarious to me. Maybe that's a big word for you, Toya, but I feel like Dr. Heavenly is familiar with the word unhinged. Why would she need Heavenly for protection? I think that's weird. Well, what would Heavenly be protecting her from? I don't get it. And for her to make the implication that she made about Steve is just... Are you for real? I hadn't even heard nobody say that. All the, reviews that I have heard, I've not heard anybody say anything about Steve and the boys. So, you came over here and told us all that Dr. Eugene had a little wee-wee, and we believe you. And so don't try to fix it now. That's what we think is the actual truth. She has something to say about Quad and King too, so we might as well get into that before I get out of here. Oh, we got to still get into Simone and her children and her man. So yeah, she has something to say about Quad, her and her husband.
Dr. Eugene, recent news broke that King and Quad have broken up. And I wanted to get your thoughts on it. Are you surprised by the news or did you see it coming?
I hate to say I kind of saw it coming to a certain degree, only because, and I'm actually cool with King. And I think, he's a new friend, but I actually would use the word friend. We actually talked. We hung out on Father's Day. Like I hang out with King. King always had an issue. I think that the focus of their relationship was baby only. When you're a new couple and you're just getting to meet this person, the focus should be getting to know them, not fertility stuff. And, I think it was too much focus on other stuff other than really establishing their bond. And I think it affected him to a certain degree.
Have you spoken to him since the news broke? Or I do want to ask you, Dr. Eugene,
I told him the news broke. I said, hey, Ken, you all over the internet.
Well, he broke the news himself. He told us first.
He's talking about before that news.
What news?
No, he didn't know that his comments were on the internet.
Oh, well, he went on the internet and made the comment.
I know he didn't know that it went
viral.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was like, hey, King, you're on TMZ. He's like, huh? So I sent it to him. He was like, oh.
But see, did TMZ call him because they called Quiet, or did Quiet call TMZ?
Quiet's statement came after King's stuff blew up, I believe.
When did you know they broke up?
When did I know they broke up?
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
That's you.
He said this been done.
Because?
I think because the focus was off. Like they just weren't on the same page,
Mm-hmm. Not at all. We would advise everyone to enjoy your relationship for as long as you can and establish a bond between each other so that
I told him the news broke.
Once you have the kids, that bond is first. It's unbreakable in front of the kids. And, our kids, I tell Eugene all the time, hey, we have to be on the same team. We do.
Yeah. Let me retract that statement. Because actually, even when I think of, I've been, we go to marriage counseling.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've been trying to really self-reflect on some things. And I was like, and thinking about things more philosophically almost. I think when a man and woman fall in love, when she has a baby, she falls in love with that baby to a certain degree. And it's hard to be in love with two people at the same time, in love, And so when you look at a man and a woman after they have children, the focus does shift off the man to a certain degree. And I think they never had, the full experience of falling in love because they're...
Once you have the kids, that bond...
going in that direction, but then to shift it to, I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby. I want to have a baby. So King's like, as a man, well, what about me? What about us?
Like, those are the questions I would ask him. What made you put aside everything that you need for her needs? Why did you stay and film and continue when y'all were not in a good place? Like, that's what I want answers to. I never asked, and I could have. But if you ask and and someone asks you, then you're obligated to tell that they asked for the truth. And so I rather not know so much,
Mm-hmm.
But I think there's a story there. Definitely.
Going in that direction, but then
some days I feel strong.
Okay, just gonna play music anyway. She is such a hater. Like, what does she mean? Why? What made him give up to stay there? What's up, Jai Tony? Oh no, I can't see you. You watch Married to Medicine, or are you just coming through to show me some love? I appreciate it. So yeah, now you so cool with King. Dr. G, was he friends with Dr. G? That was Cecil that was friends with Dr. G. But now he's so cool with King that they hang out. Come on. I feel like that whole thing with Dr. Eugene, when what's his name? When Dr. G was talking about he was gonna press charges, Eugene was like, all right then, B, you doing the most. I still think though, y'all are that friendly. Well, thank you for coming through, Jack. Now they're that friendly that they hanging out with each other. And I still don't understand, like, what the whole, what is he giving up? I agree with Dr. G that, you go into a relationship, she said a year, they came in there very baby focused. And that is a lot. And then, to be not just baby focused in a new relationship, but we got to get to know each other and do IVF, and not just do IVF, but we got to go all the way to Ghana to do it. It was a lot, so I could see it, but I also didn't really care for King that much. After we got to know him, he just seemed a little opportunistic, like Mama Joyce said, and then, wanted her to sell her house and stuff. Like, why I got to give up my stuff? It was just so much that they hadn't covered. But Toya, you could go ahead and watch the whole thing. But I feel like Toya is so full of herself and doesn't realize that she's very lame. Toya is very lame. There was a section where they were talking about, what was it? Oh, they were talking about couples, that he said something about Atlanta. She said she loves how like the marriages or whatever happens in Atlanta. She said in Detroit, it's not like that. And in Detroit, there's nobody, that they can even really go out with as couples. And I'm like, nobody freaking wants to be bothered with Toya and poor Eugene, who's seemingly nice. Like the way he, engages with people. I think Eugene is a cool dude. The way, Toya acts, however, is probably a lot of people that are like, nah, I'm not going out with them. I'm not fooling with them. So before we get out of here, because, they're coming back Sunday and we're going to be back on schedule. Dr. Simone and her husband. Let me find the child. It's hump day. Bear with me. I'm trying to get over this last hump. So they're out somewhere, I guess in New York City. So Cecil says, this is tweets that that everything is on the daggone internet. Cecil says, NYC, my kind of town, best ramen I had in my life. Thanks at Dr. Simone Whitmore for rolling with me. And then Queen Eat Clean said, Dr. Simone is a gift. We all just hope you paid the bill, Cecil. Do you earn money? That was rude. Laughing emoji. I don't know how she thought he was supposed to respond to that. He didn't have to respond. Dr. Simone came back with at Queen Eat Clean. He has 2 jobs and a retirement account that is full. What's your financial status? Never mind. Eyeballs. And then she had to say something again. Dr. Simone to at Queen Eat Clean. My response should never be viewed as an attack. I complained about a spoiled child spending my money and a husband that continues to spoil a child. The twisted narrative that I take care of Cecil is ludicrous. All of the ladies on Married to Medicine out earn their husbands. Somebody said, did they forget the stuff they say on camera? It seems like it. You were the one that said this. This is what I don't understand by these Whitmores. You were the one that said this, Simone. She said that her husband has 2 jobs and a retirement account that is full. What is full? What does a full retirement account look like? Is there like a little meter and it's like, ding, ding, you're full, and so you don't have to earn any money? You were the one saying that so his retirement account is full and yours is not, because Michael, who doesn't need your money because he has so many jobs. Did y'all see that? Because I did it on the other morning, but we hit you right quick over here with Michael.
All I hear is about the whole 60K thing now, and I'm going to clear some things up today. Now, I want to start off by saying my dad is far from perfect. No one's perfect. But my dad is far from a bum. He's never been lazy my whole life. And in a world where Black men as fathers has such a negative stigma around it, my dad has never been nothing but supportive and there for our family and his kids. But I'm not here to talk about my dad. I'm here to talk about me. Now, that whole 60K thing, honestly, like it's not all it cracks out to be. The majority of that is probably food and gas. I'm not a big going out, buying materialistic things with that 60K, bottles and da-da-da, like what you expect that to be, that's probably not what that is. But at the same time, I don't really care what you expect. That's not what I'm here to clear up today. My coworker posted a video yesterday about me at work, and this has kind of been looming in the air for a minute. Who told y'all I never worked a job? Like, I don't know where that thought or idea came from, but like, I guess that's what I'm here to clear up today. All I hear is about the whole.
So yeah, we don't care that this boy has a job. Somewhere he has $60,000 of his mama's money somewhere on a gas and lunches and dinners and things. Um, what you say, she only wants him for what he can do for her. She never said anything regarding being in love with him, only what he does for her. You talking about Toya, clearly. Um, yeah. And then, this whole like we prayed and God told me. I can't stand it when people that are devils like Toya are always talking about how God did something. Um, she says she didn't ask God about good looks. She has a lot of nerve, first of all. Dr. Eugene is a little portly, but he's not a bad looking guy. You know what I'm saying? He gives off a little nerdy, but intelligence is attractive. She's the one, out here telling the world, and maybe she said that, to keep the ladies. Maybe she's got, a little strategy. If I tell all the world that his Peter is a little teeny, then these girls won't be coming for it. But it's a lot of girls out there that, are looking for a nice man with some big pockets. So I don't know how scary that is, Toya, her ignorant ass. But yeah, that right there, when she says stuff like that, she didn't ask God about good looks. But then, she was over here, King, take your shirt off. And now, Eugene, you want to be friends with King? You better leave King where he at. Back to these two. 3, 4. The Whitmores. Simone came over here this season and she said she don't like these people that live in her house. She said that these kids are spoiled. She said that she wants a divorce. Who wants a divorce? Me. So, Michael, nobody said anything about Cecil's parenting. That's not what this is about. This is about, you didn't tell your dad, like, if you don't pay for my shit, his account is on full. Did you not know? His account is on full. So ask this man over here, your great, wonderful father, to, pay for some of your shit. She got him a new car, a new Tesla. That's questionable. He's sitting up here telling, he went on to list all the jobs he's had since high school. He's very much, makes his own money, at least enough for gas and food. So miss me with that. Y'all stay on the internet, fussing at the people for having an opinion about the shit you said, Dr. Simone. You said you didn't want this man. You said you didn't want nothing to do with him. Y'all go to parties and y'all have fun, but y'all don't have fun together. That was y'all that said that. Cecil, for a quick minute, tried to say, hey, we only fight about the boys. Not true. I don't believe that. I think this is a new thing. So, yeah, that's what's been going on with Married to Medicine, y'all. We'll be back Tuesday to discuss this Sunday's episode. When we get over here Sunday, they're still going to be over at this vacation. So now that Heavenly's here and she's apologized to Simone, and Simone did not accept her apology. She said, we just going to agree to exist in the same room. So, I don't know what else there is. Probably Toya and Mimi more fighting. But, yeah, we'll pick up with the next episode of Married to Medicine on Tuesday. On Monday, we're going to talk about this reunion, Real Housewives of Potomac. This should be interesting. And I will see y'all in the morning for some coffee talk. I didn't do coffee talk this morning because it wasn't really nothing, there wasn't really nothing going on like that. And I was like, I'm not just going to come over here just to run my mouth about nothing. But, what a difference a day makes. So I will see y'all at 10 o'clock on Coffee Talk. In the meantime, y'all like the video, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye, y'all.